Hey everybody, welcome back to i2i Live. It is our weekly Disney Hangout, which we call Disney Parks Live Chat. We're going to be talking about the latest news and information and scuttlebutt that's going on in the world of Disney Parks during this time. For about like 30 minutes or so, I usually pop on here, and it's a great time to, as my phone decides that it wants to actually come on too. So there you go, a little background noise for everybody. But regardless, we're going to be spending some time just hanging out and getting to be with each other and hang out with our little family within the Disney family. So I appreciate everybody who is already popping into the chat window. Thank y'all so much for arriving early. It's always great to see some familiar faces. Pamela, Captain Akron, thank you guys so much. You know, we always have the problems with the autocorrect. It's the thing about technology is it's great until it's not. And then it's really frustrating. And that seems to be the case here as well. So welcome to you, Pamela, and Captain Akron as well. Really appreciate you guys being here. As you do come into the chat window, please do make sure you smash the like button. If you can, share it out on social media as well. It's always more fun when we have a lot of people here hanging out with us to talk about these things. So for a lot of you that have been regulars here on Monday nights, you know that I've had my friend Connor Brown with me. He is not going to join us tonight. He had a last minute obligation come up. We'll call it an obligation. We'll call it a opportunity come up, and he had to miss out on our conversation tonight. So we will not be talking to him about his trip to Walt Disney World just yet, but he'll be back hopefully in the next week or so when he gets kind of resettled after that long process to talk to him about what he saw at Walt Disney World. And so just me tonight again. I hope that y'all can bear with that, and we'll still have some fun talking about some stuff. Alex is in the house. What's going on, Alex? Saw that you put up a Muppets review today as well, or Muppets Now review. I think Muppets Now personally is not getting a lot of attention. I think part of that excuse me, I'm like picking my teeth in the middle of this thing. I think Muppets Now is getting overshadowed by a couple of things. I'm kind of shocked with the lack of social media presence they did this weekend on what I thought personally. It's not like if Muppets Now fails, then the rest of the time that Disney owns the Muppets, they're not going to be able to do anything with it. But to me, this kind of feels like an important moment where they really need to make sure this thing works to figure out if they can make Muppets Now take hold and they can utilize this franchise they purchased in a more modern way. So I was just surprised that they didn't advertise it as much until today, apparently when Miss Piggy took over the social media account. So there you go. But let me know, have you guys, quick poll of the room, has everybody watched Muppets Now, yes or no? And if no, why didn't you? Is it just not interest, no time? If you did, what did you think about it? Let me know. Pamela says, I love the Muppets Now show. It was really funny. I thought it had some funny moments. I think there were some, and I know we're not even talking Disney park stuff yet, but since we're here on this subject, we'll just start here. I know it had some funny moments in it, but there were some things about it I think that could be better. And I think it was the first episode, though usually your first episode, you're one of your best episodes to kind of get people hooked. So I don't know what that tells you. With being non-scripted format, I do think it really is dependent upon especially the human character. Well, they are humans, but I had to say that, because Muppets, humans, those characters and their interactions with people. Alex says they need to, actually, on this one there, they need to push it harder. Yeah, I think pushing the envelope a little bit harder would help. I think everybody's so cautious these days. How far can they go with comedy, all that kind of thing. But apparently someone commented today on the review that I did on our channel for it. And by the way, we'll keep doing those for the 6 episodes, unless it just for some reason doesn't work or it gets really bad. But that's my plan now, is to complete that out. But yeah, so we'll have that, and I hope that they get better with time on it. Maybe if they get more well-known celebrities, they'll get more recognition. I guess RuPaul is. I know the name. I just don't watch the show. RuPaul was a big-ish name. I think most people recognize that. Taye Diggs. I know the name Taye Diggs. I just cannot play. I think he actually kind of was good in his segment, I thought. I can't just place where I know him from. So y'all have to help me with that if you know. And then Carlina Will, I think, was the Caribbean style chef. I never heard of her before, but I'm not big into the culinary TV and streaming stuff, so I wouldn't know that type of thing. But there you go. So yes, maybe some bigger ones later down the road would help kind of draw a little bit more attention, but they need to work everybody into it. All right, but keep your opinions coming on Muppets now. Anything else that you want to share? And honestly, as I say every Monday night, this is kind of just it's a more informal hangout time. We don't really have a set agenda other than the topic that I come prepared to discuss. And that tonight, ironically enough, is this, guys. I know how much y'all have seen me bash, dismiss, and push aside what I call that park across the street in Universal Studios Orlando. But tonight, we are going to be discussing it alongside Disney Parks stuff. And I wore my Spider-Man shirt because they do have a great Spider-Man ride. I will give them that. But also I wore Spider-Man because he belongs with Disney. So I have a love-hate relationship. Well, I really don't have a love relationship. I just kind of have a, I wish you weren't there kind of thing. However, my points about this topic tonight, I think, will lead you to believe, and me as well, that maybe they're a necessity that's really good for Walt Disney World. So how about this? If you are in the room and you'd like to share your thoughts on this, are you a Universal Studios fan at all? Like, are you someone like me who tends to be Walt Disney World or nothing? I wouldn't say I'm like completely strict on that, but I will say that I get a little bit strict about it at times. But or are you someone that's kind of like, I like both, I don't care? Or are you more of a Universal person? Because I've met a lot of people, and there's kind of across the board. Most people I know are Disney people. But there you go. Pamela's going to be back. Gotta bring. Oh, look at you doing all the chores and stuff. And trying to multitask during this time. So yeah, I definitely fall on the side of the fence of Universal being something that I only go to unless there's a reason for me to go to it. Like, if they came out with the next greatest like Marvel thing again, while they still hold the rights to it, I'd probably go over there. But otherwise, I strictly just go to Walt Disney World. Now, in our trip that we have planned with Jessica's family coming up later this year, we will be going to Universal Studios because they are big fans of that. They're big fans of Harry Potter. And so we've got to work in both things here to make everybody happy. And I will just grin and bear it. It's not that bad. It's a theme park. So, I get some enjoyment out of it. But, my thing is when I'm in Orlando and I'm not at Walt Disney World, I'm like, why am I not at Walt Disney World? Why? Like, I would much rather spend my day sitting in the Grand Floridian lobby, listening to the piano player, wandering outside at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, watching the animals out there. I'd much rather be swimming at the pool at the beach club. I mean, for crying out loud, I'd rather hike around Fort Wilderness than go to Universal Studios. Not saying it's bad. That's just, I get more enjoyment out of those things when it comes to that. Pamela loves Universal and Disney as well. I liked Universal the first time we went, but I love Walt Disney World much better. And I think, look, they're both great. One's better. But I think, we live here in Georgia, and we've got Six Flags in the near vicinity of us. Six Flags doesn't come near either of the two of them, quite frankly. I enjoy Six Flags, but I know what I'm going to Six Flags for roller coasters. That's it. I'm going to Universal for a theme park experience. I'm going to Walt Disney World for a holistic experience. So that's kind of my take on the whole thing there. Avery, what's going on, my man? He's in the house. For those of you that don't know, he won trivia night last night. Working your way up that leaderboard, buddy. With only a month, 4 trivia nights left in this round. You can do it. but you got to catch up to 8. 8's he's trucking it there. Instead of buses, I wish they built a people mover or monorail instead for the park. I wish they built a people mover or monorail instead of for the park. Yeah. Yeah, I think I guess you're talking about Universal. To me, probably for them, that would feel a little bit copycat. But if it works, right? Especially, so here's the thing, and this is the topic that we're going to get into more tonight, is if you didn't know, last year, I think pretty much a year, a little more than a year to the date, Universal announced their 3rd theme park, Epic Universe. And while I don't really love Universal Studios, I still like to do my research on things just to talk about it. If you look at the map where it's planned, they are landlocked. And so they essentially had to, like, if this is, I'm trying to do this on the screen here. So if this is, I feel like I need to do it over here. So if this is Universal Studios with Islands of Adventure in the studios right here, like down here would be where the new park would be, and be all this separation right here. Having to do this backwards is weird. Would be just a bunch of stuff separate. Some of it would be Universal property, some of it wouldn't. So they'd have to connect it with buses like you were talking about. So that's a way you can do it. But would it feel too copycat? For them, at least. Always wanted to go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I would be in Hogwarts heaven. You know, I despise Harry Potter so much, Pamela. I know everybody loves it. But I can't, you know, I just can't get into it. I mean, I appreciate the mechanical, the idea behind the rides they have. The theming's great, but for me, who does not like the story, does not think it's not good for me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I know everybody else has their things. Speaking of trivia night, can't wait to find out this thing's. So glad I'm a patron. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. For those of you that would like to get some special perks for yourself and help support our content here, you can go to patreon.com/i2i Disney and become a patron there, and you get to know things early, special updates from us, have your input on the content we create, all kinds of good stuff. Excuse me, stuff there. So thank you for mentioning that, Pamela. She does get to know. Well, she already kind of knows what the next couple of ones might be. It could change, but she will definitely know early this week what the official trivia night will be. So yeah, Epic Universe is going to be separated, and or the opposite way I had that going. God, this mirroring thing is like messed up. I can't figure it out. Like this. So this is all the regular parks Universal. Down here is Epic Universe. With that being said, they announced this week that they were going to cancel, or not cancel, excuse me, delay the construction, the beginning of the phases of developing this park. And that's not a shock. I mean, we all know what's going on right now. COVID-19, economy's being affected. I think I even just read, excuse me, I'll take a sip of water quick. Like literally a minute before I got here, I saw an update that Disney is projected, the Disney parks, merchandise, basically the function of their company that runs the parks and stuff, is going to take a $2 billion loss this quarter. That is a lot. So everybody is hurting, and everybody is going to have to make budget cuts. And I do think, that it is a bad thing necessarily that this happened to Universal. And the reasons for obviously for them, it's a bad thing trying to compete with Disney, but it's a bad thing for Disney because they're trying to compete with Disney. So what I mean by that is this: as much as I dismiss them, the fact that they have at least competent competitor literally down the street from them, constantly chasing their coattails, pushes Disney. Why do you think rides like I almost switched things up there, Avatar: The World of Pandora happened? Why do you think things like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge happened? It's because of Universal. I mean, obviously, there's other things going on there that make that happen, but that's the big reason why those things happen, is because Universal pushes them to be better. So how about this? Let's ask everybody, are you disappointed The Epic Universe is delayed now. For those of you that are Universal fans, or if you're not, do you think kind of the opinion that I have, that it is a good thing that Universal has the ability, the drive to keep pushing the boundaries for them and do that? I think it is personally. So I do. When I heard the news that this was delayed now, I was not shocked, but I was disappointed because I thought personally when they announced Epic Universe that the wheels at Disney were going to start turning, and eventually we were going to get the fifth gate. The fifth gate. We need it. Now, some people will argue that Disney was already kind of being pushed because of Volcano Bay. They called it their third theme park. A water park is, I mean, I guess it is a theme park of sorts. But to me, they just got their first theme park or water park. Disney still got two of them. So it really doesn't kind of like matter. Disney really wouldn't be pushed to start making that fifth theme park happen by that. But with Epic Universe, you can guarantee that Disney was thinking, all right, can we make this happen? Where can we make this happen? Pamela with the oh so kind words, saying praying for those people in Universal Studios and everybody across our nation right now that's kind of dealing with the effects of this pandemic. Everybody's being affected by it, and some to worse degrees than I am. So my heart goes out to them. So it's a great point to bring up. Now, let me say this. That is where my main concern lies, is that Epic Universe would have pushed Disney to develop a fifth theme park, which if you've been on this channel forever, I think I've hinted at it or said it. I have this grand idea for a hero themed theme park for Disney. And there's this, let me try to do this on the screen again. So imagine this. There are what I call four distinct quadrants. Well, yes. There's really five, but imagine this. Right here, let me get my mirroring right here. Over here is Animal Kingdom, if I've got this right on my screen. Animal Kingdom, Blizzard Beach, Coronado Springs. I think the All-Stars kind of fall into this category too. Over here, we've got Disney Springs, Typhoon Lagoon, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, all those resorts there. Gosh, this is so confusing on here. Up here, we've got like the not Grand Floridian, but we'll call it Fort Wilderness, Wilderness Lodge, Contemporary. Then you've got up here, you've got Grand Floridian, golf courses, and Polynesian, and Magic Kingdom's obviously up here at the top. What a lot of people don't know is if you look at the map right over here in this section, if you imagine an imaginary map here, there's golf courses there. There's a lot of land behind the Animal Kingdom that is underdeveloped. That's where the fifth gate would go. And it would make a ton of sense and create kind of another side of the resort, especially imagine if they made a theme park, put some resorts around it, and then built almost like a smaller version of Disney Springs, like just an eating area and a small shopping area. I think it would work really well. So that's kind of what I've always hoped for there. They do have some good movies. I will give them that. A hero theme park sounds cool. I agree. That's why I thought of it. P.F. Chang, Panda Express. Maybe I missed that part, but that's what they're wanting there. But how about this? Yes, I do think it says it retracted it on here. Interesting. I'm not seeing why that got retracted. Okay. I have two monitors up so I can see what's going on in the chat window sometimes. Because one time it lagged behind. Oh, look at Avery. He's multitasking on two chats right now. I love it, my man. I love it. How about this? A superhero theme park. I do think that could happen. They call it Disney's Hero Headquarters. Obviously, if you can get Universal to get off their whatever about not giving Marvel rights for theme parks back over to Disney, that could happen. You could also incorporate Disney heroes into that. I just think it would work really well. It's a broad theme that can work across that. And the theme is anyone can be a hero. And at night, the villains take over. That could bring your villain theme park that everybody loves so much. I would too, Avery. So yeah, if you guys got ideas for that, share them here. But it'd be really, really, really cool. But yeah, so I think that's the main thing that makes me sad about Epic Universe not happening. Of course, at some point, my family or my wife's family would decide, that they would want to go visit it, and we would do that, and it'd be fine. But for me, I just want to stay at Disney World as much as I can here. Tori Camella's in the house. What's going on? Thanks for being here. Avery, a lot of people do want a villains theme park. A lot of people. And I don't know that I think it could work. I don't know that Disney believes it could work, but think about it this way. If you had a hero theme park, why wouldn't you let at night the villains take it over and then have some big show at the end of it to have the heroes take it back over and put them back in envision it this way. I envisioned a spoken wheels, if you remember that, because it's like the Magic Kingdom, a center point and then some offshoot lands. You theme it around New York. You've got different areas in New York. You've got Spider-Man area, Avengers area, Fantastic Four area, the X-Men area. Up top, you've got all the Disney Heroes area. And each of them have a boat ride with jail cells where all the villains have been kept. And what if at night they broke out? Especially if you rode the rides during that time, you'd see that the cells would be empty and the heroes had to fight to put them back in. It's just some things I'm spitting off the top of my head here. I'm from Sleepy Hollow, so I'm all for a Headless Horseman attraction. So would it just be a dark ride, Avery? Is that what you'd want it to be? Appreciate that, Pamela. I have a few ideas, few opinions on these things. Do a villains thing like the villains after hours events. I think that is a way of Disney has tested that idea before. And I think it's successful in small doses, but as a theme park completely to them, I don't know that it works. But I do think you could give them a theme park for a certain amount of time. Imagine that park at Halloween, how awesome that would be, especially with your Headless Horseman idea. I think that would be really cool as well. Paging Mr. Morrow. I don't know that we've seen you here before. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here. I like the villains after hours, but we need villain meet and greets. They are a little lacking on those, aren't they? I'm trying to even think of the last villain that I have met. I mean, do you count King Louie as a villain? I don't know. I mean, in a way, he's always with Baloo at Animal Kingdom, and I've gotten pictures with him before. So maybe King Louie. I don't know. I can't think of anyway. If you guys got any ones outside of the after hours events or anything like that, I can't think of anything at this point. But pushing this back to our premise that Universal delaying their Epic Universe theme park, obviously it hurts them, but it does in some way help and hurt Disney. It helps Disney as in the competition, the pressure to produce more is now off, but the pressure to produce more is now off, if that makes sense, the opposite way. So they're not going to feel the pressure to kind of do something bigger and better. And that kind of makes me sad because I love seeing that there. Avery says, talking about the Sleepy Hollow idea, dark ride, definitely bring back that chase ride idea. Excuse me. The original concept of Superstar Limo. It's funny you bring that up. I've been watching a lot of videos and just kind of learning a little bit more about California Adventure lately. And the thing that I found is that people absolutely either hate the Superstar Limo thing or love it. Like many things in Disney parks. For me, I think I could have gotten on board with it. But yeah, sure, they've got the ideas for that type of ride. Why not utilize it as something else? Could be a good idea. Paging Mr. Morrow. That is a great reminder that you can do Gaston. So that's a great one. I think that's one of the ones where it can it really comes through that people want to see the villains, and it works really well if you do it right. Now that I'm thinking on it, I know the stepsisters, the evil stepsisters, they're around the base of the castle, at least in the back area a lot. So that's another one. I'm trying to think of any others. Captain Hook, I feel like, comes out sometimes. Gosh, this has got me thinking now. Do we count King Louie, though? Think of that. Kind of a funny villain. What about Shere Khan? Well, I mean, you could say one of the tigers is Shere Khan at Animal Kingdom, and then there you go. But you don't get to meet him. But that's one way to think about it. Would have been much faster attraction with a paparazzi chase. But because of what happened to Diana, they dumped it down. I forgot about that. That's very true. So that probably suffered from that. Like the idea of villains having more presence, like meet and greets. So yeah, so I think if you develop a fifth theme park with the hero themed, have the villains take it over at night, then they come out, meet and greets everywhere. It could be a really cool idea. I think it would. I think it would work really well. All right, we've got a few minutes left. Let me run through a couple announcements. Last minute thoughts, questions, comments that you might have on this topic or something else. It can be anything Disney that happened this week that you want my commentary on or opinions on. But where did this? There we go. Pull that one down out of here. Last announcements that we have for this week. Trivia night this week. Come on over Thursday, 7:15. We love seeing everybody there. We have lots of fun. We've got 4 sessions planned left in this round. So 4 Thursday nights left that we're keeping track of the leaderboard, and then it'll be a clean slate. I want you there these next Thursday nights, but that's really in about the start of September is when you want to be there for the start of a new round, and it'll be a lot of fun. Other stuff, we obviously, if you're looking for ways to support this channel, we talked about Patreon, patreon.com/i2i Disney. Our TeePublic store, you can find it at tpublic.com/i2i Disney. PayPal, and then obviously watching the videos that we put out. We'll have a new video coming out either tomorrow or Wednesday. If you've seen a Star Wars video circulating about renaming the videos or the movies, we've got a pretty funny bit that we're doing with that tomorrow. So make sure you're looking for that. And I think that's all the announcements that I had for everybody. Let's see. When I said funny villain, I'm referring to King Louie. There you go. That's what you meant. And I got that. Now I understand that. Yeah, it would be a funny one to think about. But I think that's all I have for you guys tonight. I really appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, next Monday, we'll likely have Connor back. I know I've said that last couple of weeks, but he's just very busy right now. But he'll be able to tell us about his experience at the Disney parks this last go around, and it'll be a lot of fun in general just to have him back. Pam says, how are you and Jessica doing in general? Doing well. For those of you who don't know, Jessica is a nurse, and she's heavily involved with coronavirus patients, and she is doing today's actually she's got like a headache, but so she wasn't at work today. But in general, things seem to be pretty stable right now, which we're very thankful for. So thank you for asking. No, thank you, Captain Akron. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate everybody stopping in. Until we assemble again, my friends, may the force be with you. And we'll see you real soon.